Hey there, join us today to find out the incredible story of Peter, who discovered a baby in a bag while searching through a dumpster. He rushed to the local police station only to be rewarded almost immediately. But before hearing the most horrifying tale any parent can tell, if you're a fan of these strange, mysterious, real-life stories delivered in a video format, you are at the right place. So please make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our daily uploads. Rummaging through dumpsters trying to find some food for the day was never a part of Peter's life plan. But many things can happen, like being laid off, dealing with a difficult housing market, and having problems with family, ex-spouses, and more. Peter went through dumpsters every single day trying to find some food. The bright side is that big supermarket chains would throw out good food for no reason, so it worked. It wasn't dignified, but it was better than nothing. He found a couple of old prepared sandwiches, and underneath was a black bag. It was heavy too, so it could be something good. But when he pulled it out of the dumpster, it began moving, frightening him. Peter almost dropped it, but the sound of crying echoed from the inside and triggered Peter to stop. "It can't be," he said. A baby, perhaps a 1-year-old, was wailing. The child's eyes turned to Peter, still crying, but his arms raised. Taking the baby into his arms, he walked briskly to the police station, which was closer than the fire station in his city, to take the baby to safety. "I found this baby in a dumpster," Peter yelled as soon as he walked through the door. The officers were all turned in shock. The cops just jumped into action. One grabbed the child, it seemed, to check while performing what Peter could only guess was first aid. The baby was later taken to another room. Another cop came to him. "Can you tell us exactly what happened?" "Yes, I was, looking for food," he replied, ashamed. "I found him in a black bag. It was unmoving, so I had no idea, but as soon as I took the baby, began crying. He was just there." The cop continued his line of questions and was called by the officer who had taken the child. They spoke to one side so that no one could hear them. But Peter concentrated, snooping. He could only discern this must be the Morgan's child. Peter stayed at the station while the officers moved around, made calls, rushed out, and did their business. He wondered if he should leave until the same questioning officer came back. "Stay here, we've located the parents and they want to thank you for this," the cop nodded. "Sure," he answered, not needing any gratitude. He did what anyone would have done. A few more minutes passed until bright headlights shone through the station's glass doors. Two people rushed out of the front seats of a car. "Where's my baby?" a woman yelled in desperation. She was beautifully dressed in elegant, pristine clothes. Peter turned to the man and marveled at his clearly expensive suit, watch, and shoes, his complete opposite. He had looked at the big, sad picture. This was a kidnapping case, and worse. The officer who had taken the baby to the back returned him to his mother, who grabbed him as quickly as she could. The father joined them, and Peter could see both their chests moving and crying. "This is the man who found your child," the officer indicted, pointing at Peter. "It was no big deal. I did what anyone would," he stated, wanting to leave. But the man almost ran to him, grabbing Peter and hugging him. He couldn't remember the last time he was acknowledged, and this man didn't seem to care about ruining his fancy outfit. "Thank you," the man said several times. "You have no idea. You saved our baby. How can we ever repay you?" the woman asked Peter. "No, nothing. I don't need anything," Peter repeated, raising his hands. "Nonsense. You deserve a reward for this. You have saved our family," the man insisted. Oh, we haven't even introduced ourselves. I'm James and this is Amy. That's our boy Aaron. Please tell me what we can do for you. Peter sighed, knowing these people would not give up. Well, I could use a burger or something. Do you have a bank account? James asked, grabbing his phone. Do you have a job? Do you have a house? James questioned him just like the officer did before, and Peter felt small again, but he responded honestly. Finally, the fancy business-looking man said, I am going to fix all your troubles. Later, Peter found out that the couple's last name was Morgan. They were one of the most prominent families in town. Their connections to powerful people and their money went back generations. The Morgans' new driver, who had taken the job after their old one retired, kidnapped their son when he was supposed to take him to daycare. He was asking for a considerable ransom. Instead of paying, James and Amy moved every force in town, police, investigators, politicians, activist groups, etc. to find the driver. Through CCTV, the cops confirmed that the driver had dropped the baby off in that dumpster and left town. There was now a nationwide search for him. The Morgans took Peter to dinner that night and gave him all their cash they had on them, which was over $1,000. However, his cheap smartphone pinged with an alert from his bank account just an hour after. It was a massive wire transfer worth millions of dollars. It had to be a mistake, but James called him right away to confirm he got the money. That's what that lowlife was asking for. I do not negotiate with criminals or give my money away so easily, he stated severely. You deserve this money. Start over and let me know if you need a job. Thank you, Peter. He hung up and Peter looked around his cheap hotel room which he had booked with the cash they gave him. He had planned to buy shoes and more things the next day, but he was now a millionaire. So the following morning, his first visit was to a realtor, and Peter put in an offer on the house shortly after looking at it. He later visited a car dealership and came out with a sedan. Less than 24 hours ago, he had been homeless and destitute. But now he had a chance to rebuild his life in the best way possible. He later called the Morgans asking if they needed a new driver. James laughed and agreed immediately.